ultimately, what made you decide to reach out to me? Was it the business, the car business? You were curious of.
Yes, because many years ago we did an experiment with a GM, General Motors dealership, and they were having problems attracting the women drivers. So what we did, they said, well, what can you come up with? So my interest got into cars, and we said, well, I'll tell you what, we have a database of women bringing their cars in. So we said, do they know where the oil stick is, the dipstick? Do they know how to fill up the reservoir with water? So one night we put 30 seats out. We brought in a new car, and we invited a number of ladies to come, and we gave them sort of little snacks. We sold the car that night. We couldn't believe it. And we sort of took that over, and then the president of the company called us in again and said, I know you do TV and you're doing radio and sports. Can you help us out with some other ideas? So we did some other crazy ideas, because in North America it snows a lot, ice.
Yeah.
So wiper blades need to be changed every season. So what we would do these voiceovers. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is it time for your rubbers to be changed? And it would be like minus 30 degrees outside. So we sort of got into that. And to answer your question about, yes, my love for cars, especially Italian cars. And I had a good feel for Volvo. I like the Volvo cars.
Volvo. It's known for safety.
Yeah. And the Peugeot was another one.
French.
Yeah. Well, actually, I noticed the water says Gateway on.
Yes.
So
that's part of our branding. So all of our showrooms, our lounge contains this type of bottled water. So it's for branding as well.
I would say it's time for Gateway. I mean, there's the water.
Yeah.
But so that sort of answers into that. I at that particular time, I did spend the time in between the media business of spending time in the oil pit. How you change in the oil pit for oil. I went into the spares department. How do you get spares for cars? Went into the what would you call it here? Detailing. So a car comes in, a brand new car comes in, you detail it up, it's ready to go out through the showroom. So it was, yes, I needed to understand how the system worked within the business. Not being an expert, but having hands-on knowledge.
Yeah, it's quite different here how dealerships are run in Europe or America. Well, some similarities, but there are unique facets to how we run things here.
I noticed that your company is very detailed in having cars in the shopping malls.
Yeah, that's
that's
the trend here, because many mall goers, and that's usually how we generate leads. So it's a common thing to have car displays in the malls.
But I think that's important.
Yes, more visibility, of course, given the traffic situation. So not everyone really drops by the dealership. So sometimes they're just in the mall and they see a car and they want to put a down payment immediately. So that's how things are different here. Plus now there's more focus online and online marketing.
So, excuse my ignorance on this, but so is it the younger generation are far more educated to go online and to know exactly what the car looks like?
There's been a shift with buying behavior and how customers look for info or decide to buy a car. So now it's mostly on Facebook, YouTube. So they do their research before they decide to purchase. They usually consult someone online immediately. Yeah, so things are changing. I've observed, because we've been in the business for 20 years, so we've seen rapid changes over just a decade, so very short period of time, and yeah, if you notice, it's very hard to get around these days because of the traffic.
Yes,
Plus the
yeah.
roads in Cebu are quite narrow, quite tight, and hopefully they do something about it in terms of widening or adding more flyovers.
Yeah. So the infrastructure here, as you
Yeah.
said, narrow roads makes it extremely difficult.
Difficult because even in Manila it's traffic, but there's been progress with infrastructure because of the skyway, so it's easier to get around. Traffic's still bad, but there's movement and the roads are quite wide. Here it's a different story. It's like it's a very long line, very slow movement.
So, Michael, does the new owners really look after their vehicles? I mean, I'm thinking of oil change, bringing it in for brakes.
Ideally, well, we have staff who give out reminders or send a text for maintenance, scheduling. But of course, there's no perfect scenario. So there are some, of course, that are
Yes.
gonna deviate and not be as disciplined in terms of how they go for servicing. So it varies.